We begin with the Trump-Vance campaign. They've been accusing Kamala Harris's running mate of stolen valor for having allegedly abandoned his unit by retiring before it was deployed to Iraq in 2006. But are the accusations on his military record true? Plus, MAGA chaos online as podcaster Joe Rogan seemingly threw his support behind RFK Jr., but stopped short of a full endorsement.
That's just what they do. That's politics. They do it on the left, they do it on the right. They gaslight you, they manipulate you, they promote narratives. And the only one who's not doing that is Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Lots of anger from the MAGA faithful today as top podcaster and comedian Joe Rogan showed his support for independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
He's the only one that he doesn't attack people. He attacks actions and ideas, but he's much more reasonable and intelligent. I mean, the guy was an environmental attorney and cleaned up the East River. I mean, he's a legitimate guy.
Many have thought Rogan is alt-right, but he has previously endorsed Bernie Sanders and has sat down with RFK. It's hard to say if this will move the needle at all for Kennedy, as his polling has plummeted since Kamala Harris replaced Biden on the Democratic ticket. Meanwhile, Team Trump's continued attacks on the military record of Democratic Governor Tim Walz are coming under sharp fire from some voters.
The man has been in the National Guard in service of this country for over 20 years or so. How can anybody be that stupid?
They're lying. That's what an officer who served with Walz said about the Trump campaign claims.
When the United States of America asked me to go to Iraq to serve my country, I did it.
Trump's VP contender, JD Vance, who served in the Marines for 4 years, is accusing Walz of resigning from the National Guard to avoid a deployment of his unit to Iraq. But more evidence is emerging that Walz retired from the Guard months before that deployment was ordered. He filed to run for Congress in February 2005. In March, the Guard announced a possible deployment to Iraq.
I left in April of 2005, and this was, for me, it was just short of 25 years. And it was to run for this office.
While people who serve with Walz are speaking out on his behalf,
I don't think he tried to avoid the deployment at all. In fact, I'm really glad he went to Congress and did what he did.
The former soldier who commanded the Minnesota governor in 2005 claims Walz did in fact do something wrong in service.
He went around me and above and beyond me and went to get somebody to back him to get him out of there without, it was just a backdoor process that he handled against me or against the battalion out there.
Another accusation from the Republican side, Walz falsely suggesting he was in the thick of fighting overseas when talking about gun control.
He's never really been on any combat deployments. That actually does kind of frustrate us.
Walz said he never wanted to shine a spotlight on his Army service.
I was not comfortable and did not allow us, I don't believe, to use any photos of me in uniform.
But mentioned it on the campaign trail during his first run for Congress.
I'm a retired command sergeant major. I spent 24 years in the Army National Guard.
There is overall little evidence of Walz making the claims Trump's team is accusing him of.
I served throughout the European theater with Operation Enduring Freedom. I was specifically in Vicenza, Italy.
Meanwhile, JD Vance is facing some controversy of his own when it comes to his military record. Vance, who served as a U.S. Marine in Iraq, didn't actually engage in any fighting.
JD Vance, as a messenger on this, may be an imperfect messenger, because we have, as you introduced him, as a combat correspondent, which was what his title was. But when you dig a little deeper into that, he was a public affairs specialist, someone who did not see combat, which certainly the title combat correspondent kind of gives you a different impression. So he may be the imperfect messenger on that.
Well, that now viral CNN clip has been viewed millions of times and prompted this response from Vance, calling it disgusting, adding that when I got the call to go to Iraq, I went. Tim Walz said he carried a gun in a war. Did he? No, it was a lie. Vance served as a public affairs officer during a 6-month stint in Iraq. It's not known at this point when or even if Vance and Walz will debate.